that, what I wanted you to do as you come in is your entrance ticket. You know, starting tomorrow you have your speeches, right, about your SSR books, and your letters could be starting to be due tomorrow, right, because those are due on the day that you give your speech. So if you have a question still about it, please just jot it down for me. We started off with entrance tickets. So as soon as they came in, there was a question on the board and they had to respond to it. And I chose that one because they have an assignment that we've been working on most of the semester, but it's due tomorrow. So it seemed like a good way to see if there were any last-minute questions in an anonymous way, so students didn't have to, raise their hand if they, didn't want to be called out on something. It was also just a very quick way to get through questions because a lot of students had similar types of questions, so I was able just to quickly look through them and answer the 1 or 2 questions there were. Are the letters due the same day as our individual speeches? Yes, okay? So you hand in your letter on the day that you are giving your speech. So everybody who is signed up for tomorrow, you should be emailing me your letter tomorrow. All right, over to Cameron. See how far you can get it? Oh, excellent. We also used a strategy called bounce, bounce, pass, where we threw the ball around. And in that, it's a formative assessment because students get to share out their response to the question, and that question was about what kind of poems they remembered reading. But it also is kind of an active listening strategy because it requires that they're listening to the person before them because they're asked to just quickly, in their own words, restate what that person said before they add on their comment. And so I chose that with that one because I wanted to make sure that they were hearing what each other was sharing out, and a lot of times once they heard what one student said, you noticed more hands going up, more people who wanted the opportunity to share because they were reminded, or they're like, oh yeah, I remember reading that, or so they were able to start to share and bounce ideas off of each other. Jenna, can you read out for your group your composite answer for number 1? Throughout, we used, cold calling or random calling using the popsicle sticks, hoping to get more students engaged and to keep them engaged the whole time. They always know that it's a possibility that they could come up to have to answer a particular question or to share out. Again, just trying to keep all students engaged the whole time. The last one, which was the new one I tried this time, was best composite answer, where the students had gone through and already come up with their own individual answer, and then they were asked to work together with a group to come up with their best answer as a group. So what that means, right, is that you're putting together your ideas to come up with maybe a better answer to the question than anybody had on their own. It's formative because I got to see quickly on the Post-it notes exactly what each student was thinking in regards to those questions, and then it also allowed them to kind of self-check each other and come up with perhaps a better answer, add to, give more detail about things. For example, what is poetry? Maybe things they hadn't thought about before. Their group members could add, so they were able to kind of edit and revise their answers and put them all together. Are songs like poetry or not? Okay, and this is our last one. Let's see, Eva, can you read for your group?
We said yes because they both express emotions and sound good, or I guess flowy.
Flow to them and express emotions. Since January, I've been actively using them and trying to embed it into every lesson as much as possible. And I think it's helpful. I think it really helps me keep students more engaged in lots of different ways because it's asking them individually to do a lot of things that I'm checking very quickly, but it's also helping me realize what they know and what we don't need to spend as much time on, or it can also help if it seems like a large number of students aren't getting something, or there's a big hole in the answers that I'm getting overall, then I know we need to go back and look at that, or I need to ask more specific probing questions to help them think about some of those concepts a little bit more.